time become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Hey guys, so we're back. We're going to be checking out something that was requested by the Shadow King, and this is from the Exploring series, and it's exploring the SCP Foundation, SCP-2935, Oh Death. Okay, so the note that he wrote beside it is, only death wait. Okay, so, in any case, it has 30 votes. 30 votes. You guys really want to see this. In fact, there's only one thing that's voted higher at this point in the entire thing. But I'm going to be trying to set up something with about 2 or 3 people to kind of have a watch along on the Volgan's video on the Scarlet King. So if you guys are wondering why I haven't done that yet, it's because I'm trying to make something a little bit special for that. Get a couple of people that have been friends of the channel in on this, and watch it with them. In any case, Oh Death by the Exploring series is going to be rather fun. Well, it's probably not going to be rather fun. I'm planning on getting done with, speaking of the Exploring series, I'm going to be getting a thing probably of SCP-999 because I've seen that they have a little plushie down there of that. I think Dominique needs a friend. And I wouldn't mind having 999 here with me throughout some of these other SCPs that you guys have sent me. In any case, we're going to jump into it. Let's sit back, grab a drink, enjoy yourselves, guys. Here we go. Boom.
SCP-2935. Oh Death. Life in the SCP universe continually hangs by a thread.
True.
Threatened constantly by the existence of a number of dangerous and apocalyptic anomalies. These threats are countered and contained by the existence of organizations such as the SCP Foundation or the Global Occult Coalition. Depending on your perspective, their efficacy in carrying out these goals varies, but by and large, life continues. There are a number of SCPs and tales that look at potential apocalypses, but rarely with such totality as SCP-2935,
Okay.
a parallel dimension in which death prevailed. On April 28, 2016, an SCP Foundation site near Bloomington, Indiana, picked up a distorted and
Why'd you gotta say that? No, look, you can't say that. You can't bring up a place close to where I live. No.
unintelligible radio signal. Believing it warranting investigation, a team traced the signal to a cave underneath a cemetery in the nearby community of Joppa. Sending a drone into the cave, the team at first didn't realize that anything was amiss, believing that the drone simply exited out of the other end of the cave. After observing the surrounding area and picking up an undistorted version of the radio signal, however, they realized that the drone had passed through some sort of anomaly to end up in a parallel dimension of sorts. The radio signal seemed to originate from the parallel version of the nearby Foundation site,
Okay.
and had been looping for the last 8 days. The transmission read, "This is an automated emergency broadcast from the SCP Foundation and your national government. One or more of our sites is experiencing a communication breakdown, likely due to a containment breach of unknown magnitude. All citizens are ordered to stay in their homes as containment teams work to secure the breach. This message will broadcast from April 20th, 2016 until..." The transmission suddenly cuts out at this point and then repeats again.
Oh boy.
Mobile Task Force Epsilon 13, Manifest Destiny, were sent in to explore the anomaly, which took...
See, this is one that I just finished watching a video by SCP Illustrated about the Mobile Task Forces. This is one that I do not think I saw in there, but that's not surprising considering how many SCPs there are and how many things would be needed to track all of them, so I'm not surprised I didn't see it in there.
Took place over the course of 3 manned missions and 1 unmanned mission. The first mission, codenamed Gauntlet, commenced to explore the area immediately surrounding 2935's insertion point and collect any samples they could.
Okay.
Upon entering the alternate dimension, they notice that the temperature is pleasant, the sky is cloudy, and notably, there is no living vegetation in sight, including trees, plants, and grass. The surrounding area seems to be identical to the area outside of the cave in our dimension, and the team begins to travel down a road until they locate a farmhouse. Upon entering the house, they find the corpses of 3 adults and 1 child around a table, each appearing to be somewhat recently deceased. A newspaper on the table, dated April 19th, 2016, seems to be identical with a newspaper from that date from our dimension. A clock on the wall shows it to be the correct time in our dimension, proving that this dimension is fully connected to ours. The team notices that none of the food is covered in mold, despite being left out for seemingly over a week. They collect some samples, including taking a laptop and a smartphone, but they finally turn on the television nearby. Most of the channels contain nothing but test signals, but the home shopping network has a live feed, showing 2 corpses and a burnt backdrop. On their way back to the cave, they note that they haven't heard any birds, insects, or car noises, just the wind. The samples brought back by the team.
Okay, so if the food wasn't rotting or breaking down at all, that means that literally everything died, including bacteria. Okay.
Team showed no living cells or microbial life whatsoever, and the smartphone's last message sent talked about a card game, suggesting that whatever caused the owner to die was completely unexpected. The next mission, codenamed Overland, involved the team making their way to the alternate Foundation site that was broadcasting the transmission, and establish a forward camp there.
Okay.
16 agents from MTF Epsilon 13 were sent through the cave for this mission, and they begin by commandeering several vehicles to aid their traversal. On the way to the site, they note that the roads are fairly clear, as not many vehicles were present at the time of the incident. They see several fires along the way, a few of which are from downed jetliners. They decide to split into 2 separate teams, one heading into the site itself, and the other going to the off-site server bank. The logs follow the team that goes into the site, and a couple members of the team note that they were at this site during the time when this event occurred. The site is in lockdown status, but they soon turn it off and make their way towards the front offices. They find corpses of individuals they recognize who work at the site in our dimension,
Lovely.
although they note that there's no blood, suggesting that it was possibly a disease of some sort. They learn that at 4 a.m. on the 20th, a routine vitals check on the site reported no response from any of the vital transmitters. The system then pinged a number of levels of staff, which failed to respond, and then locked down the site and began broadcasting the help message automatically. The team attempts to contact a couple of the artificial intelligences patched into the site, seeing that they are still running, but they receive no response from them either. Exploring the site, the team leader finds his own corpse, along with many other corpses, each of which has suffered complete cellular death. They access a computer.
Okay, so this would creep me out more than anything, because all life is gone, even artificial. That would creep me out more than anything else. And there's nothing breaking anything down. There's no, there's nothing. Oh my god, this would creep me right the hell out. Oh, okay, let's keep going.
Terminal, finding an encrypted message left only 3 days ago, after the point in which everything died. They send the message back home and head into the containment wing. They check on a few SCPs, noting that they are all dead, including SCP-2936, which they refer to as the Ghost Girl.
Huh.
They also find one of the team members' corpses, Agent Keller, despite him not being at this site during this time frame. And more notably, the corpse has actually decomposed,
Really?
unlike all the other corpses they've found.
Okay, that's different.
Finally, they remember that SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile, was being transferred recently, and spent a few days at this site. They head downstairs to where its containment cell would be, and open it. They find the corpse of 682, displaying no signs of life, which weirds out the team enough for them to head back topside.
Yeah, no kidding. For those of you who don't know, 682, its whole thing is that it's unkillable. So whatever killed everything else killed it, and it's supposed to be one of the kids. It was supposed to be one of the sons of one of the children of the Scarlet King. So whatever happened here killed the unkillable that the SCP Foundation has been trying to kill for a ridiculously, like, they submerge this thing in acid just on a daily basis just to keep it controlled.
The next mission, codenamed 19, has the team head to another Foundation site, Site 19. During this expedition, only one of the 16 members' recorders managed to broadcast their feed back to base.
Where's 999?
Agent
Don't tell me
Keller,
my good boy's gone.
Incidentally, the same individual whose decomposing corpse the team found last time. Because of this, we're given much less information about this mission. They make it to Site 19 and find another emergency transmitter, although this one pings every few seconds, allowing them to confirm that the incident apparently occurred at 3:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They find SCP-963, the amulet that allows for Dr. Bright's immortality, but it appears to be completely inert.
Wow, okay.
They also find the broken remains of the possessive mask, 035, as well as a deceased 173, the sculpture. They also find SCP...
That's the only bit of good news that I've heard, because I hate Peanut. I hate Peanut with a passion. I can't stand Peanut. That's the only thing that I'm actually glad to have heard here.
SCP-079, which is an old artificial intelligence, which is also dead, confirming that anything resembling life died as well. It seems that the effect was completely global, affecting anything and everything that either lived or resembled life. The log ends with Keller saying that the on-site nuke at Site 19 was tripped, and they're locked in down there. He gives the team's final goodbyes, and the transmission suddenly cuts out. While MTF E-13 was exploring Site 19, an automated drone was sent into the alternate dimension in order to carry out aerial surveillance, as well as make contact with the team and collect the evidence and samples they've found. After flying a few kilometers into the air, the drone sees the surrounding area entirely devoid of life, with drifts of sand and dirt beginning to form alongside roadways and houses. The drone flies towards Indianapolis, citing a number of large fires, especially at the Indianapolis International Airport in the distance. Indianapolis itself is largely unscathed, and so the drone flies towards Foundation Site 19. After flying through a storm, the drone lands at the site, transmits its coordinates to the team, and powers down. 5 hours later, the drone is reactivated by Agent Keller, who loads a package onto the drone and then looks into the camera, saying, "I don't have any answers. I don't think there are any. I'll do this one thing and hope that fixes it. Seal it shut. You've got to lock it in here with us. I'm sorry."
Oh, wow.
The drone then flies back towards the cave, and along the way, a nuclear explosion is seen at Site 19. So, what caused Agent Keller to detonate a nuke and kill off his entire team, telling the Foundation to seal up the cave?
And that would be why that MTF is not recorded.
Why was the alternate corpse of Keller the only one that was decomposing? And what was on that encrypted audio message they found? All of our answers can be found in the final log in the report, where we get to read the encrypted message for ourselves. The person doesn't provide their name, but mentions that it's currently April 26th, and they've managed to get back into Site-81 despite the lockdown. The rest of the message reads, "I wish I had an explanation. If I didn't still bleed, I would think I was dreaming. I've had dreams that I was dreaming, but I wake up and I'm still here.
Wow.
Still here. Alone. And everyone is gone. They sent me to check this signal they had picked up near Joppa, just off of 70. Quick little exploratory mission. I was the closest. I pop in there and find this cave. And on the other side is the world I just left, but it's this one. This is the world I ended up in. The grass, the birds, things dropping out of the skies, and dark things floating in the water. People everywhere, lying where they stood. And the silence. God, the silence. Not even birds or bugs. Just wind. And nothing else. I came back to report on what I had seen, and I don't have any answers. I don't think there are any. I don't even have the right words to say. This world is different from the one I saw in the cave. People are moved around. The date is different. Things are different. Because it's my world. This is the one I left. This is... My family is here, and my friends. But now... it's all gone. Everything is dead. There's no evil magic. There's no supernatural stars. There's no futuristic ray gun or false vacuum device or... nothing. None of those things mattered. Nothing we did mattered. It's all gone. Something must have been in that cave. Something must have followed me out of there. Needed me to go in there. Needed me to bring it out. Let it loose. Let it do to my world what it did to that. Maybe it's me. Maybe I was the reason. Maybe I am death. If it was in there and I brought it back, then I am death. I've got myself in a containment cell. Jammed the goddamn door shut. I'm gonna put a bullet between my eyes. Everyone else is dead. What's one more? You know, it occurs to me, if you're listening to this, you're death too.
Okay.
What's the sequence of events here then? It seems that the Agent Keller of this alternate universe was sent to investigate a signal near Joppa, Indiana.
Right.
Much like what occurred in our universe, although he was alone. He passed through the cave and entered into a dead universe. Again, similar to what our Foundation did. He went back through the cave, but found his own universe to now be completely dead, just like the one he left. Assuming this happened immediately when he came back, he probably came back through the cave at 3:13 a.m. on the 20th. He makes it back to his own Site-81 and records this message, realizing that something within the cave, or within that other universe, needed him in order to travel to a fresh universe. Since he's completely alone in a dead world, he kills himself, and his body decomposes since he still carried living bacteria.
True. That's...
The Keller
okay.
from our universe finds this message and realizes that if they pass back through the cave to their own universe, they'll kill it. To prevent this, he tells the Foundation to seal the cave, and then locks his team in and detonates the nuke. The Foundation seals the cave with concrete and leaves it alone. We're left with two primary questions then. What exactly is the cause of this universal death? And is it specifically tied to Agent Keller?
I doubt it.
We can likely rule out some sort of disease or weapon, so it's probably some form of entity. Clearly, this entity has killed more than a couple universes, since the distress signal sent by the alternate Foundation continues to lure new Foundation teams into the cave.
Right.
If it is an entity, it's certainly among the most powerful in existence, if not the most powerful, since it's capable of killing not only 682, but everything in existence simultaneously. It's hard to say.
That's what gets to me about this, because it wiped out everything, including bacteria. That's what gets me. I mean, it took everything out. I was actually waiting to see if he would talk and like if it was affecting like chemical reactions or things like that.
Say if it's specifically tied to Keller, since we have limited information, but he is a common thread that we know of. Whether or not this entity of death is connected to Keller is left to your own thoughts.
Right.
SCP-2935 exemplifies some of the best aspects of cosmic horror, presenting a cold, uncaring situation with no regards to humanity's perseverance or will to survive. 2935 is effective because it reminds us that death could come for us at any moment with no warning.
Exactly.
And it doesn't really care who we are or what we've done. Maybe it doesn't take the form of a supernatural entity or a universal atrocity, but death is all around us.
And here comes this quote. That's what I thought it was going to be. If you've never once checked out the interview of Robert Oppenheimer, you owe it to yourself to watch that. You can see the look on his face when he's talking about the after effect of when they watched the first nuclear bomb, the bomb test. And it was genuinely creepy the first time I watched it, because you can see on that man's face that he knows what he has done. He knows what he has unleashed on the world, and it haunts him. And that is an utterly... I would never want to be in that position, knowing that I had done something that could very well destroy everything. All that being said, guys, once again, I'm left in just... God, that would be so creepy. That would be unremittingly creepy, because we're so used to seeing... This doesn't just interrupt. This isn't just about, death as we are used to it. Death as we would, understand it. Because every single time that you see death in like a horror movie, it's always the same kind of thing. Especially if something's been dead a long time. How many space sci-fi movies have you seen where they find a dead body and it's desiccated and it's like mummified and all this other kind of stuff? But what would you do if, you knew just the interruption of life on a absolute total scale, 100% interruption? All that being said, guys, this was outstanding. Yet again, the Exploring series does great work. And thank you to the Shadow King for recommending this. I'm going to be putting all the Exploring series links down in the description below. And they're going to be right next to mine, including my Patreon, where you guys can support the channel if you'd like. And a Discord where you can come in and you can vote on things that you want to see. I can see in the SCP request channel that you have 2137 for Tupac Shakur. You have the Scarlet King, of course. You have the Tower. You have the Foundation. You have My Glasses Half Fulls, You and Me in SCP. You have, like right now, I think the request for reacts for the SCP is close to 50. But that's neither here nor there. In any case, guys, thank you for joining me. And whatever you guys do today, have a good time. I'll catch you guys next time. Button.